It's like
I know. It's so official. It's like, ah! Welcome to another episode of Lids Off. I am your host, Bo Snow. I'm joined today with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Maise Crittenden. I am 25. I'm she, her. I currently play for the Hertfordshire Cheetahs, although my uni team I coach at is the Reading Knights, and I mostly deal and play running back.
Oof, that is a high collateral position. How... That's a lot. Okay, but we will get to that anyway. So just like every other episode, Maisie, we'll start with the very first question. How did football find you?
So this is my favourite story to tell because I tell it all the time. So 2019 I joined uni after a gap year at Reading, and I was a commuter student. So me and a couple of other commuter students went to the fresher sports fair sort of thing. And I went with this very tall boy, like 7 foot tall, called Henry, and we're walking around. And the American football team tried to recruit him, and I was just so upset. I was so angry. I was like, why don't they want me? I was like, I'm an athletic marvel. I wasn't. That's not the point. You know, in my head, I was sport incarnated. So I was really annoyed, and so I noticed there was a girl on the desk, so I was like, oh, can girls play a sport? And they were like, yeah. And obviously I used to play Madden a lot when I was little, right? So I was like, oh, I love football. So I went to the taster day, loved it, was obsessed with it, and then I just sort of never left. So I played for my first year at uni. So I played for that year. What a time to be alive, honestly. Definitely a lot of interesting things there. Then COVID happened, so we sort of had a half year off. And then I came back and I realised I wasn't going to be playing in the mixed league much longer. So I was like, I'd like to stay involved with the team. I'd like to get involved in coaching. So then that year I sort of came back. I observed the running backs for about a month, and then the running backs coach left and they said, oh, Maisie, just do it. So I sort of picked it up there. And then since then I've just been coaching. And then 3 seasons ago, if you count this season, I ended up joining the Cheetahs. And then I came back to playing after 4 years off. So yeah, that's how I ended up in football.
That's a really big gap though, of 4 years off. Kind of, what was the pushing point for you that you were like, no, I need to get back on the pitch again?
So I stopped playing in the mix because it was really hard on me physically. This was when we were in Div 1 and Portsmouth and Cardiff and all those sort of teams were still in Div 1. So I was getting beat up. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but I was getting the hell.
Oh yeah, you were allowed.
I was getting the shit beat out of me for real. I was down.
Were you running back for mixed as well? Yep. Fuck that. And oh my God.
When I see girls playing in the league now, I'm like, fair play. I'm like, because I did it, and obviously I played a lot in training, which was hard. I didn't play a lot in games. I'm not going to sit and lie and say I was good enough to play in games. I wasn't. But even in training, because we used to train very physically, I was in the trenches for real. So I sort of kept coaching. I played rugby at uni, but I had some issues playing rugby. Like I didn't really get on with the team, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I sort of fell out of love with rugby. And then I finished my undergrad, and I had a bit of time over the summer. So I was like, so I messaged Solent, London, and Cheetahs in the same afternoon, and Cheetahs got back to me that night, and that was where I ended up because all of them are about an hour from me. So I messaged all three, and the Cheetahs got back to me first. So that's sort of how I ended up there.
Was it nerve-wracking kind of going to it, or is it because you trained mixed that you were it took the edge off it a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think I was nervous coming back to a women's team. I was sort of nervous because I joined the week before the first tournament and sort of was thrown. So I went to one training session and was like, they were like, there's a game next week. And I was like, sign me up to play. So I was confident I knew what I was doing, right? But I was never, like 2 years ago, I was a lot less fit than I am now. And I'm still not that fit. So I came in at a very low level to what I wanted to be at. But yeah, I wasn't really nervous because I think I had that confidence from mixed that if I've survived that, I'll survive women's.
Yeah.
Which was true, but it wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be.
Where do you think that confidence came from to train with mixed or being mixed? Because it does take a lot for a woman to be like, yeah, full send. Because guys do go 1,000,000% at training. So, where did that confidence come from? Have you always been confident, or is it a fake it till you make it?
Oh, 100% fake it. It's like, if you ask my team, half of them would tell
No.
you I'm the most confident player on the team, but I chat so much I don't back up, right? Like, I'm the number one shit talker in the Women's Sevens League, I tell you that, because I'm just mouth the whole game. I'm so sorry to anyone on any other sideline, because it's always me. Everyone's like, the Cheetahs are a lovely team. They don't count me, because I'm just horrific. But I think I do it for the love of the game, right? I grew up in men's. This is what we do at uni. We're constantly doing this to the other team, and it's all in good fun from me. So, but yeah, I definitely think it's fake it till you make it. I know my physical limitations as a player, but if I can make up for that with a bit of mental mind games, I'll do that all day long, I guess. But yeah, mixed was hard. My very first session, I got a concussion, and then came back 2 days later because I was not being the girl who got a concussion and was not playing. No, don't tell my mum that. But that's what happened.
Fuck. Like, did you? So, what? Like, how bad was the concussion?
He just
was
picked
it
me up
like
and threw me on my head, and I was just slept a few days
just
after that. Yeah. He was a D-line. He was a big boy, but I think it was that sort of. I was glad I got thrown in the deep end, because if I could deal with that, I got back up and I said, "Let's go. Let's do it again. This is fun. Like, this isn't fun, but this is fun at the same time."
So what was it that kept you coming back? Because so many people would have got that hit and gone, nah, fuck it, that's not for me.
I think I always knew I'd love football because I loved playing Madden. I loved the thinking of football, right? I think why I fell out of love with rugby is I was so bored, because if the person in front of me was bigger and stronger and faster, what could I do? And I'd lose one-on-ones, right? I'm 5'3". I used to weigh next to nothing. Like, half the time people could pick me up and throw me and I could do absolutely nothing about that. But at football, there's a bit more. I felt like if I did everything right and everyone else did everything right, my size didn't matter, which was really good for me. And I don't know why. I think because I'd never played women's, for me, mixed was the normal. And I was like, this is
Right.
this is normal that we all feel broken. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed mixed. I really enjoyed the coaching I got. Like, the coaches there, half of them I coach with now. They were fantastic, because they used to just tell me, look, we don't care if you're a girl or a boy. You are the slowest runner on the field, which is a problem, but that isn't affected by who you are, right? And I really enjoyed that honesty of, right now you are crap, but it's not because you're a girl. And that was, it sounds like a stupid thing to say. That was very heartwarming to me. I was like, oh, I'm just crap, but I'm not being ostracised.
So, like, when you've come across, like, so that's a really honest kind of assessment of where you are. Did that kind of empower you to try harder? Did you get demotivated by that? Like,
I think I knew I was never going to be physically better than the other rookies I came in with, but I learned I knew the playbook better than anyone else. So I can tell you that playbook now. That my first year offensive playbook, I know the whole scheme. I still, because it's the scheme like I think of when I think of football. So it was my first ever scheme. So even though I wasn't getting the reps or whatnot in scrimmage and that, it gave me satisfaction to think I know exactly what we're doing here on every play, and that for me was like a bit of a win in itself.
Were there any things that you kind of got, like, because I know you said that you knew you were never going to be the fittest. Was there a specific target that you put yourself to? So you already said that you kind of put your mind to it. You're going to know the playbook inside out. What about physically? How did you kind of deal with that challenge?
So, yeah, like, physically I've always struggled, right? I've got a load of issues. I've got arthritis. I've had chronic nerve damage in my legs since I was about 14. And I have endometriosis. So really, I didn't get a good hand physically. Yeah, we can go on such a tangent about this. But I came into that, and that was at age 19. I hadn't really done sport for about 3 years because I'd been really physically struggling. So I came back and I knew I was just made of paper mache. But I think playing, although I didn't get necessarily fitter or more, I didn't get better at playing mixed. I felt healthier because I was doing things again. And I think even though I was crap, I was okay with being crap because I was getting on the field. And for me, that was so fun, getting to do those physical things. And now I'm in I look back now and I'm like, thank God I did that then, because now I'm doing this now.
So is it truly the love of the game that keeps you coming back? Because after every game day, you're flirting with a flare up of everything.
I'm flirting beforehand. I'm flirting during.
Right? Like, is it purely the love of the game that kind of keeps you coming back, or?
I think that's it, right? I think with my disabilities, they're going to happen whether I'm moving or not. It's a really hard illness to describe. Like with my chronic nerve damage, I can be in the same amount of pain playing football as I am at home watching TV, and it's not warranted by the activity I'm doing. So that's really hard to explain because people say, "Oh, you play American football, so it isn't that bad a pain." But really, my pain and my activity aren't ever really related. So it's a really tough issue. But yeah, I love football to death. My team will tell you I'll be playing football in a body bag. I will not come off that. You give me a rep on the field, you could break my arm off. I'm coming back on next one. Like I am clinically insane when it comes to playing football. But I love it. And it's not in playing. I love coaching. I love being around football. But yeah, I've been in some flare-ups before. Like the Newcastle, we had a game last week, right? The night before, I'm up all night. I'm taking my Cocodamol. I'm on paracetamol every 4 hours. I'm chugging through to get to that game.
May, you were having a flare-up the night before and you still played. Like, how do you...
This is what we all do. There's no time for illness. We haven't got the numbers.
I mean... the truest thing that's ever been said on this fucking podcast. But also, like, fuck, how, like... Because running back as well, it's about knowing your gaps. It's about kind of assessing where people are lining up. How do you contend with brain fog mid... Or is it 100 miles an hour and you're just like, let's go fucking full send and you don't think about it?
I think it helps that football is probably my hyper obsession and I have been playing running back and coaching it for so many years, right? Because in the women's game, it's a simplified version of a lot of concepts we do in 11s, right? It's the same things, It's just half the field, half the players. So luckily at running back, I know because obviously how we run our offense, I'm really involved with like how we do our plays and how we do our calling and all that. Like I know our playbook blindfolded backwards. But that's sort of the joy of being a smaller team. Right, me and my QB, me and Audrey, we are two brains in the same head half the time. So I've sort of had that comfortability with both of us and with the whole team. Like I can trust we know where we're going. And brain fog wise, I mean, I wouldn't want to be a QB with what goes on. I always say I want to play QB, but I don't think I'd want to be in situations like that.
But is there any times that you've had, like, you know, for example, Shield Maiden's game, it was a heavy game. It wasn't the cleanest of football games, from my personal opinion, that was played. When you're contending with pain and people are getting injured and it's starting, the standard of football starts to slip, is there any point that you're like, I need to call it a break and look after myself? Or is it, you're just like, no, I will be buried on this fucking pitch?
Our head coach, Greg, and one of our other players who plays running back at halftime were like, let's get you some reps off. And I went, absolutely not. I went, if you try and take me off, I will still go on the field and we will get a penalty for too many players. I will, but that's not because I don't trust them, right? That's not because I don't trust them. Kayla was already playing DB. I didn't want her playing both ways. And I think I'll go till the wheels fall off. And but I'll do that for my team, right? Even if I have to feel confident when I play that I'm the best player on the field. And I don't think everyone understands when I say that I'm not saying it to like actually think I'm the best player on the field. But the mindset I have to get into when I play football is I am going to score every play. I'm going to score, I'm going to get a touchdown, I'm going to celebrate, they're going to flag it. Like that's the energy I have to bring to the field, because otherwise I think I'd worry too much, like you say, about all that sort of thing, about injuries and whatnot. I try and not think about that, because if I thought about that, I wouldn't be playing.
Fair. Where's that attitude come from? Where's that mental... Because that confidence automatically makes you a better player than the people that are like, where's that come from? Have you always been confident, or...?
I don't think so, but I think it's... I came into coaching and I was so new to football practically, right? I'd press the buttons on a PlayStation controller. I didn't know how football worked. And when you come in coaching, you get this entire view of the game from all angles, especially coming from 11s down to 7s, which I think has really helped me. Well, not down to 7s, but across to 7s, I say. I don't want to say it's less than 11s, because I think it's its own sport entirely. Honestly, the rules are so different, it might as well be its own thing. But I think coming from coaching, I'm so confident in what I know about the game, and I'm so happy with where I am in the game that I think playing, I get frustrated with what I can and can't do. Because in my head, what I could do as a player is always going to be taken down by what I can physically do as a player, which is really hard, right? But I think that confidence when I'm on the field comes from, I know where I want to go, and if you guys block right, I'm going to get there. But
that's amazing. Yeah. So, well, I know you touched briefly on it about you'll die for your team and stuff. Like, how would you describe the culture at Hearts at the moment?
I think we came into this season hard. We've lost. Well, I don't want to say we've lost 2 players. We haven't lost them. They're both pregnant, which is congrats. I'm so happy for them, but I'm also annoyed that they're not here for the season. Right? I love them with all my heart, and I'm so happy with them. Get on the field right now.
Yeah, but, fair.
I think we came into it, and obviously we've got a new head coach in, which means a slight shift of sort of just how a club runs. Right? Every head coach is going to bring a different sort of energy, and Greg, I think, is doing a great job. But obviously there was a bit of uncertainty. So we were 2 weeks off pretty much nearly having me as a head coach, which would have been a very different interview, but would have been very funny.
Wow, shit.
Yeah, so we came into it a bit worried, but I think pre-season solidified us in, we know our football. We came off a really good season last season. Like, I was annoyed. Yeah. Everyone else was over the moon that we got where we got, which was amazing. And I think we were worried about that first tournament because we never know what the league's going to look like with sevens. We never have any information. We don't have any scheme. We don't have any video of anyone because every year everyone either runs something new or something different. Oh, it's just annoying. But yeah, I'd like it if everyone's kept to the same playbook every year and then we could just work with that.
Yeah, God, be predictable and consistent.
Yeah, be like, some of us got jobs and I'm trying to learn what you're doing and like long. But yeah, so I think our mentality is, I think, what keeps people coming to our team, because we're a team, we'll go 0-8 or we'll go 8-0 and we'll have the same players come back next year. And I hold that so closely to us, and I care so much about that's the team we are, because I think there's other teams, not just in women's, men's is the same, right? Some players want to play at a team that is successful, and I completely understand that. But obviously I come from the uni background where you can't go anywhere. This is your team, and we ride together, right? And I'm like that with women's. I'm very much, now I've been at Cheetahs, I don't think I could play. I could play for another team, but I would never want to, because those are my goals. Like, I can't play against them. They'll go for my knees. Like, that's not going to happen.
Is there ever the temptation to go to nines though? Because I do, like, there is that kind of, I feel like that's the biggest derision from players that leave their sevens teams. It's usually because they want to go to nines. Has that ever been a temptation for you, or?
I mean, well, like I said, before I got into women's, I could have gone to London or Solent, right? So I didn't know anything about sevens or nines. And I think my problem with nines is the special teams element seems wild to me from someone who's played 11s. There are not enough people on the field for you to be doing special teams. This is why teams keep scoring. This is why it's ridiculous. And obviously, unless we're London or Birmingham, right, most nines clubs don't have the biggest numbers in the world either. So I think with the risk, like, we've got an injury-heavy sport. I wouldn't want to go to nines for myself, because I think I'd be very frustrated not being as physically able as some of my people on my team. I'd get frustrated. I'm very comfortable at Cheetahs. I'm very happy playing running back. Like, I want to do it for a million years. And I think nines would... I don't see the desire to play nines for me, because I get my 11s fix at the coaching uni. I get my fix of full football. And I think nines just worries my knees. Special teams scares me. As a special teams coordinator, I love special teams, but playing it, cut me out. Nah, I don't need to be on that field. I need to be running down. Big old girl coming towards me 100 miles an hour, cut me out. I'm too small. I ain't blocking her. She can go through. I'll let her through. Not me. Not me. I'm not the one.
Oh, man. No, but you do raise a really good point, though, about the special teams having playing mixed at the moment. Like, the thought of kick-off or punt return is just like an absolute fuck no to me. The pitch is too big. It's a no.
the things I say as a coordinator, the things I say of you're going to crack across and put this guy on the floor, and now thinking someone's doing that to me. No, I don't need to be there. But I think that's the thing with nines, right? It's so hard for nines coordinators to scheme because there's four, however teams there are in nines now. The numbers keep changing, as I'm sure you know. Women try and write down which teams are in our league. No clue.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, they're having to scheme an entire how do you work nines on a full side field, and that it doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. I'd like sevens to not start on the 5-yard line, but I'll take the rest of the sevens.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Has there ever been like a desire for you to aim for GB, or is that just not for you?
So I went to trials. I went to the 2 trials this year. In the second one, I broke my hand, which was really dumb of me. So
Fuck!
Yeah, no, that was quite dumb. Yeah. So I think...
Are we victim blaming here a little bit? Like, did you purposely do that, or was it just...
No, it was one of those silly drills where you start laying down and then you stand up and the linebacker comes at you 100 miles an hour. And it was... Yeah, no, fair play. She got me good. But I think I have now that I'm away from it, and obviously I know a few of the girls at GB. But I think there's a bit of a love-hate relationship with it in women's. I think the stress it can cause players. Now I'm looking at it from outside, right? And it's very easy for me to say this because I know all the guys I coach with are like, you're bitter. I'm like, perhaps, but my point still stands. That I think the stress it puts on players, that's not what I want out of football. I mean, I get stressed enough watching us try and kick a field goal at Reading, thinking about that stress on me as a player, and knowing I'm never going to be the physically best option on the field. I'm stable enough to say that, right? There is always going to be a running back bigger than me, quicker than me, hopefully not smarter than me, because I'll back myself on that. But there will be bigger and quicker girls than me, 100%, and I can't beat that. So I think I'd love to get involved with GB coaching. I think that's something I see myself doing down the line, because I think coaching is what I love more about the sport than playing, which is...
Really?
Yeah, I always get eyes when I say this at Cheetahs, because they think I should love playing, but I think the feeling I get when I'm coaching is probably like it's so special to me. It's what got me through uni. Like coaching, it brings me so much joy to my life. Those are my kids. Those are my 14, 19-year-old boys, and those are my children. And the feeling I get watching them, even when we lose, is so like makes me feel like I've done something fulfilling in my life, I guess.
So let's steer into your coaching, okay? So what was that like, kind of first time you got asked to fill in for that running back coaching thing?
Well,
where were you mentally at? Kind of...
I was shitting myself. I was like, these big old boys, 6 foot tall, are going to listen to me.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay.
Yeah, like I think for those first few weeks, like I knew what I was doing because as soon as I started coaching, I threw myself into it. I've got about 100 coaching books that I've read all the way through. I get football coaching, which I'm very happy about now. But I was scared that they wouldn't listen to a girl, and I was very lucky on my team that before I joined, there's up until me, and a year after, there was a girl on our team for about a 10-year stretch, which is really good. Which means Reading was used to having a girl in that mixed environment, which is probably why I was so fortunate enough to come into it. So yeah, those first few weeks I was terrible. No one listened to me, but that was because I wasn't backing myself, right? What I was coaching wasn't the problem. I can put full cones out and make you run the corner. Like I can do that. I can say I'm going to hit you while you hold the ball. I knew all the drills, but I had to be able to confidently deliver it and say, even though I can't do this how you can do it, I can get you to do it better. I can see, because I'd watched football from that sideline, from that, I couldn't be stronger or faster, so I had to be smarter. So that's what I try and teach my players, right? Is you're always going to come up. We're at Reading Uni. We teach farming. Like we don't get athletes. I've coached like 4 athletes, and the rest are guys who football might be their first sport in about 5 years, right? And by the end of it, we're sending them to all-stars and things. We're very proud of the players we churn out. But we're not a uni that can teach them to be fast or strong. But we always try and make smart players. And that's... Maybe I'm trying to make little mini-me's, but I try and make smart running backs the whole way through.
No, I think that's not highlighted enough. It's always, especially in mixed environments, it's always hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And I don't think football IQ is given the gravitas that it deserves, because you can tell the difference a mile off from a player that knows the game and just someone that's just big and heavy and hits hard. So how did you translate that? Because that's going to be different for the guys as well that are receiving that coaching, that it's a coach taking a different approach. How did you approach that?
I mean, it helps that I'd always sort of be coaching guys who'd never done football before. So I was taking them in as infants, right? These are newborn babies who've never seen a football in their life. So I sort of have that angle, right, of I'm teaching you something you don't know. So you have to trust me. And there's that level of trust between us and the guys that I trust that you're going to come to training and I'm going to come and we're going to exchange some knowledge and we're going to make a football team. Which sounds ridiculous when you say it like that. But that's how it works, right? It's how we build a team. But I think it's also a bit about, now I'm playing, I'm a lot more confident in saying, this is what I would have done here. But before I was playing, when I was just coaching, I think it was hard, right? It was hard to say, this is why you should do this, but I can't do it. And that's a really hard thing to say as a coach, is to admit, I can't do these things, but you can if you do them in the right way. And how that is playing men's is obviously, I'm trying to demonstrate something. I'm blocking a 7-foot boy in his pads. I'm like, if I can put his pads in his throat, you can put his pads in his throat. And we can move this man together between us. So I think, yeah, it's all about how you have to be confident as a coach. Even some of the worst coaches in the world are confident. So the rest of us have got to also try and be confident, right? Because otherwise you're just going to get not heard in the big fraggle of voices around.
How do you approach kind of players that seem to be unfocused? Because it does happen. These are babies. They're going through growing up at the same time and life does get in the way. How do you as a coach kind of set those boundaries of, okay, I'm here for you, but also let's switch on?
I think there's two angles of it, right? I think for the guys that we have potential, like, I will always take time to say to them, look, there are so many pathways for you in this sport. I've got one guy, a special teams guy that we're trying to send to America right now for his kicking.
Really?
It's incredible. But he's fun as well, coaching him. He's 7'2". I'm looking up at him like, what we're going to do is, he's incredible. But I think when guys have that talent, it's all about directing them in the right way of, this is a sport that you can start at uni and go to play nationally. Like, you can play for GB starting this sport at uni, which is, they're not going to get that rugby. They're not going to get that football. We have such an opportunity for these guys. And if at Reading we're doing it, obviously other unis that are even better are doing it, right? So I think that's where I try and steer guys who are athletic, who have the ability. And other guys, I think you have to know your players, right? I think a lot of my players, this is a distraction. This is a social team. This is we dress up as chickens and go on a night out. And if that's what they get out of football and I get them at training, that's just as good for me as those guys that are GB quality. Because I'm like, you're learning a new sport. You're active in a day when no one's active, and that makes me sound like a boomer. But like, you're moving around in a day when no one else is moving around. You're coming here at 7 p.m. Look, if you've got to leave at 8 p.m. to go on a social, I'm happy I had you for an hour. Like, I'm a bit more new in that way. Some of the old coaches they should be here at 6 o'clock when we start at 7. I'm very much like, if you come to training, I will give you everything I have to make you a better athlete in these 2 hours. And I think guys who lose their focus, sometimes we lose guys. We lose guys to socials. We lose them to other stuff. But I'll always be the one to message if I see them. Or like, because obviously I'm a student at the uni, I'm doing a doctorate. I'll always be the one to say, like, how are you doing? What are you doing now? Like, if they're doing another
Casually
sport,
drops that in.
I'm going to be doctor of running backs soon. No, but like, I'll be the first one to say, like, I hope you're doing all right. Like, I'm always messaging my players. Instagram is a send, because I just message, like, every time I see a little running back drill, I'm like, send that to all the running backs. Are you having a nice summer? Are you in the gym? Like, I think they lose focus when they don't feel like they're wanted in a place. And I think because I felt wanted when I joined the team, even though I was crap, I try and give that back to all of them, even though they're not kids, they're 19 and 20. But I'm like, you're still a baby. At that age, you are newborn.
Yeah, they are fresh. Like, God, I'm 35 and I dread to think I was not an adult at 19. Christ. It's a lot. And I guess it's hard when you're trying to be competitive, because speaking from personal experience, when it comes to the NWFL, it's very clear there are teams that want to compete and play the sport because they solely want to win. And then there are social teams where everyone just wants to be pals. And I guess with uni, you don't get that choice.
No,
it is just one team.
You got to be both.
Yeah. How do you manage that? Because you're going to have, like you said, you're quite new to it, so you're not as hardline. How do you manage that against other coaches in your team?
Yeah, so it's similar at Cheetahs, actually, but I'll put a bookmark in that and come back to it, because otherwise I'll forget. But, like, coming into my 6th year of coaching, like, I'm assistant head coach, I was co-OC for a bit, what else have I done? I'm switching coordinator. I've done a lot, so I've worn a lot of hats, and I've been around. I was an O-line coach for half a minute, but not again. Those no. The things they teach you in trenches coaching, not for me. But because I've sort of coached everywhere, and obviously because I've stayed at Reading, right? They saw me. Some of those guys saw me as a athlete. Not many of them. About 4 or 5 are still there, right? The old brigade, I call them. But those guys are sort of. They taught me everything I know about coaching. So I think they trust me that when I say something to them, it's coming from coaching has changed. Uni has changed massively, which these guys don't understand. Like, kids have so much work now that they didn't used to have when these guys were at uni. And I think I have a lot of respect for the coaches, so they have a lot of respect for me. Like, I'm the first one to mess about, as you can tell on this podcast. I don't stop talking. I don't stop making jokes. I don't stop being an idiot. But I think sometimes you need that mix of energies in the coaching staff, right? And there are coaches there who every game are annoyed when we lose. They're pissed off. I have to tell them, go away, because the players don't need to see you right now. And there are some coaches who don't care, right? Some coaches come to us once a week. They miss uni. They miss playing at uni. So they come back and they like throw a ball around, and it's just... But I think that mix helps everyone, and coaching is changing. Like, we have to appreciate the uni we're at and the situation we're in. We have players that aren't athletic. We lost every game last season because we had an entirely rookie squad in Div 1. I'm just glad we didn't have an emergency medical incident. You know what I mean? I'm glad the apocalypse didn't happen. Anything was an improvement, because we were bad. But now we've got all those guys going in second year who have been playing adult ball. Like, it's about 20 of them at Rushmore. Like, they're building up to something which could be really good. And I think you just got to roll with the punches, even though sometimes the punches take you down a bit more than you'd like.
I think the odds are stacked against you as well, because you're at uni, and like you said, like your season is so short.
We had a 3-week preseason. Well, I lie, a 4-week preseason this year. Because our uni moved our term times to start at the end of October.
That is insane, and you've got to teach these humans how to play football and what football is.
And how to play safely, right? Which is something... I'm our local concussion officer, which is ironic, because I've never treated my own seriously in my life. But there's, our players are so fragile, and that there's... Getting them safe to play is so difficult on the current uni schedule, and I don't know how other teams do it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Hats off to you, genuinely. And I think it's really good, because a lot of, it's very easy for coaches to just chase that success. And it's very clear that although the first thing to come out of your mouth is you're a dickhead or whatever, is that actually you do care. And you're a facilitator first. You want to make sure that everyone's engaged and, fair play, that your priorities, I respect your priorities. Yeah, massively.
We're all putting helmets on and looking like prats running around the field, right? If you can't see a bit of fun in it, what's the point? If you want to play, it's just dumb. Football is a dumb sport. I feel like I'm on a national podcast. I need to say, guys, if you are playing American football, it is dumb. We are doing a dumb thing. The QB's not allowed to throw it past a certain line. Dumb. On a run, the line can move, but they can't move in the pass. Dumb. Like, there's so many things about American football that are stupid.
The thing is, you're not wrong.
I can't
I completely agree.
in sevens, but I can cut block in 11s. So I've got to block a D lineman. Ridiculous. Like, that's a hate crime, if you ask me. People are going to come through the line on Saturday, I'll tell you, and they're coming up for me. Like, I'm going to put your pads in your throat, but I'm down here. You can't see me because you're up there.
Oh, Maisie. Oh, you angel. You fucking angel. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. So, shall we revisit your bookmark on Cheetahs?
Cheers is hard, because, like, I'd say a third of us, myself included, competitively want to win and get sad when we lose. Well, not sad, get angry. Like, when we lose, I will sulk the whole way home. Someone has to bring me to check I'm okay. Like, it's a big disaster. I hate losing. But another 2/3 of our team are just there for vibes. And I can't hold that against them, which was really hard for me. I joined the sport. I came to our first tournament. This was 2 years ago. The season we went 0-8, right? I joined. I'm excited to join this new team. I'm like, I'm going to play running back. Like, I'm going to... And we lose, like, so badly. And I'm fuming on the sideline. I'm, like, shouting. I'm, like, going red. Because I'm used to, like, abuse from the sideline. The rest of my sideline's, like, clapping politely. And I'm like, you're shit! I'm like, drop the ball! Like, I'm screaming at the DBs. Like, anyways. So I finished that game and I'm like, God, like, this energy is so different. I'm like, I have to adjust. Like, I need to calm down for a minute. I had to take myself down because I was too much. And I think there's still that we have to find space in a team for people who just don't care. Like, they care about the team. They do their... I don't want it to sound like they don't care, right? These people care massively. They come to training. I love and appreciate them. But their mental energy is not wrapped up in football.
Yeah.
Football is part of their life, whereas football is my life and I do other things around it. I think that's normally how I explain it, right? Like, everything I do is around football. I'm either planning where I'm at football or what I'm doing when I'm not at football. So I think Cheetahs, we're very lucky that we have that balance. I think because not a lot of... I've played against sevens teams that don't have it. And you can tell because the players that want to win get frustrated when the players who don't want to win don't carry that same energy. And I think that's probably helped by the fact we're all quite good friends at Cheetahs. I don't know if that... Like, obviously all seven teams are friends, but we're so close. Like, if I ring up any of them right now, I'd hope they answer. But if not, they'll send me a text like, why the hell are you calling me? That sort of energy, right?
Yeah, I think that's a difference maker, though, because there aren't... not all seven teams are close. And I think it is a massive difference maker. But how did you dial that back? Because as someone that's uber competitive and it's in your bones because you fucking love football, how did you make peace with that?
I think I just realised, like, who was it that's... Someone said to me, like, if you're going to... It was my first session, and this player I'm very close with now, so it's fine that she said this, right? And she was like, this is not the energy we have at sevens. If you want to be like that, go to nines. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not the energy we have at sevens. But obviously, they've never met me. I come to this first tournament, and I'm like a feral child, like, play better. I'm like telling my own teammates to play better, because this is what I expect from a football team. And I think I realised how I was coming across, and it wasn't what I was actually like. Like, I didn't want to come across wrong to my teammates, right? Because the only reason I shout that much and I say, you should have blocked her because I got tackled, is because I want us to do better. It's never on them. I'm like it with my team now, but now I remember to apologise afterwards. I'm in the huddle like, next time we run an Aussie, you need to block the outside linebacker. And then I'm like, but I love you. But I love you so much. Like, I remember to bring those things back into the huddle, right? Instead of just... Because I think men's, there's a shorthand for how you talk to each other. And women's is a different... Well, sevens is different. You talk to each other in a very different way on a sevens team than you do on a mixed team.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. But then... I guess it's hard, isn't it, when you want to be better? And I think there is power in players like you that care and want to do better, because you because you just need to set the tone sometimes. And I think there are those players that are like, oh, actually, I do want to raise myself a little bit. I do want to try a bit harder. And I think there is power in pushing people a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not a knitting club, you know what I mean?
I think I have this thing, right, and it sounds really dark in my head, so preamble, not depression, might be. Anyways, I always worry that I'm playing the physically best I'm ever going to play right now. I'm only going to go downhill, right? Because I know all my disabilities are going to come together and they're going to take me off the field eventually. Like, they'll be wheeling me for the snap onto the field. But I think, so I have that internal pressure, right, of I want to play now. I want to play while I still can. And that sounds like, I'm not saying I'm going to retire next year, right? But my knees, my legs are very unpredictable. For the past 2 years, I've been relatively better than I have been. But I could wake up tomorrow and be like, not able to move for a few weeks if I have a bad flare-up. And that's really, that worries me all the time, that I could suddenly not be able to play our next tournament. I carry that with me, like, all the time. Even though no one on the team would be like, you've let us down. No one would ever say that, right? But I'd feel like I'd let them down. Because I pride myself on being a very reliable player. Like, I ain't missed a training session. I don't miss them. If I'm not there, there's no training. Full stop. Because I'll go there by myself and stand in the field. So, I think that pressure I bring is also on myself. Like, I dropped a ball at Newcastle and no one could talk to me. Because I dropped a pass. And then they didn't throw it to me for the rest of the game. Irrelevant. I could have caught the rest of them, right? But not the point. I had felt like I'd let the team down because we could have converted on fourth. We could have had a first down. So that was me letting the team down, right? And most players would be sad about it in the moment. I think about that pass every night. It was an out route. It was like a 4 and out. Yeah, I drew up the play. I invented this play. I know my route on this play, but I didn't turn my head quick enough. So I've had nightmares about it ever since. Football's like that, you know. I'm sure you know. You think about that one play that you got wrong, and I'm like,
oh god, yeah.
80 years. I'm in the old folks' home, and I'm telling them about this play. Like it's cut me deep.
Yeah, no, our first tournament against Peterborough, we had a very similar route. I didn't get my head round quick enough. Fucking drop the floor. I don't drop balls. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I used to pride myself on 0 incomplete passes in a game. I can't even say that anymore. So who am I now without that?
How do you contend with it? Because I definitely see you as someone that deals with chronic pain as well. Go Team Tramadol. Like,
They took me off that, made me depressed. Team Cocodamol, Team Morphine, Team Naproxen. Those are my goals. They got my back. You know what I mean?
Oh, naproxen. Nice. Love it. With a sprinkling of omeprazole, maybe.
Oh, on occasion.
See? Yeah, I see you. Like, how do you contend with that ticking clock? Because there are some times when I'm in pain and I'm like, oh my god, I'm slow, I'm not great, I'm taking up space on the field, but oh my god, this clock is ticking and my time on the pitch is running out. How do you manage that?
I think it's a blessing and a curse how much my team takes the piss out of me for it, right? Because honestly, you ask anyone on my team, how does Maisie run? And they're going to come out with words that you can't repeat. They're going to insult me. They're going to drag me, right? I can't bend my knees when I run. I run like an old person. I run like a child who's stolen something. Anyways. But I think my team know I'm just, right? They know I'm slow. Whenever I do something fast, they're like, did we see that? They're like, didn't happen. But, like, in all seriousness, it's very hard. And I don't think I give it enough time in my brain because I don't want to worry about it. But I guess that's why I have coaching. And I think playing for me is something I enjoy. Like, I love playing for the Cheetahs and I enjoy playing football, but I love coaching. And I think that's probably, like, that's my get out of jail of it. Of if I can't play, I'll coach. I'll be there. I'm at the Cheetahs till I'm 80 at this point. I'll be OCing in my wheelchair. Like, that is, but I have that security blanket of football for me isn't going to go away because I know what I can give to football, even if I'm not playing. I think I'd give a lot more to a team coaching than I ever do playing. But I like to have a run around now and then.
That's wild, though, that you think like that, about that you have more to contribute as a coach than you do as a player.
I think there will
That's
always be
wild.
someone better than me to go in at running back.
Yeah, but your contribution to a team and on the pitch is so much more than a position. It's about accountability. It's about motivating people. It's about all that. It's more than just getting yards. It's not just a physical discipline. It's everything else, and that's a lot.
Maybe it's that mixed mentality, I think, that has, stayed with me for quite a while, that we are what we give to the team, right? And I want to give something to a team that makes us win more. And and as much as I'll run my heart out. You'll see me on Saturday. These little legs will be going, right? But I think it's hard knowing you can't give us what you'd want for a team. Like, it's hard for me knowing I'm not as fast as I wish I was. Like, I'm not as strong as I could be, right? And I always have that feeling of like I'm always 20% lower than where I could be, which is hard as a player to have that. But that's why then I come as the best player on the team, and I ask the opposing sideline if they like that. Like, every time I make a run, even if it's 3 yards, I'm like, did you like that? Because I have to bring myself up to this level to be able to try and play up to it. I don't want to play down. I always want to try and chase playing higher than I can.
I think you've almost answered my next question, but how do you deal with self-compassion?
Oh, I don't need that. I don't have that. I don't need that. Right,
How did I know that was coming?
member on the Hertfordshire Cheetahs. Ask anyone. They ridicule me 24/7. They'll find a picture of like something mouldy on the side of the road and be like, "That's you." But I think self-compassion's hard, right? Everyone can come on this podcast and say that. I'm sure I'm part of an army of self-compassion is hard. I think I always know after a game that I did my best, and I think that's really good. I always literally will give my last fingernail. I'll play injured, I'll play dead. Right, that's what I say. I'm not coming off the field. Like, you can try and take me off the field and you'll get a penalty. So, too many men on the field, we'll go backwards into our own end zone. Not my problem, right? I said I was staying on the field. So, I think self-compassion is hard. I'm tangenting.
No, keep going, it's fine.
Time. Too many things to say. It's hard, right? But I have that. I know what I can do for a team, and I think if I let myself down, then that's okay. But if I let the team down, that's not okay. And I think that's how I always frame it in my head, that as long as I'm up to everyone else's expectations, it's sometimes okay to not be up to mine.
So is it, because it's hard, because as someone that is very aware of that 20%, okay, I find it so hard to give myself a fucking break, because if I acknowledge that 20%, then I'm giving myself permission to give myself a break, and I can't do that at any cost, because then I'm almost acknowledging my disability, and when I'm on the pitch, I just can't do that. Is that something you struggle with, or is it just you're all right with the fact that you will kill yourself while you're on the pitch, and that's okay?
I think I do struggle with it, but I think it's become a joke in my life, right? Of I can't do that. I refer to myself as the cripple of the team. Okay, so I'm using this word about me.
Same.
I'm self-censoring.
Same.
I don't want people to think I'm throwing it. I'm in this point where my team knows that about me, right? So,
yeah,
and that gives me a sense of I would never be the one to mention it, but I think I have friends on that team who will. And I think I have 2 people I dragged to football, so they both played rugby with me at uni, and I made them join the team, and now they're both better than me, which is great for them, but not for me, because I'm just really angry about it, because they're really good. But I think I have that security that if I was at training, these people would it's not that no one would believe me, right? Everyone would believe me. No one's going to think I'm a liar for saying, I need a break. But I know that those 2 would understand instead of believe me. They'd understand why. I think having that safety blanket really helps. Having those people that you can talk to.
Yeah. Is it hard to validate your own needs, though, and kind of listen to what your body needs?
Yeah.
Or are you one of those people that just fights against your body
I think if
until...
I slow down, I'll stop, right? So I don't slow down. I just...
So how do you deal with after tournaments then? Because that's like at DEFCON 1.
Well, no,
like
now
we're
I'm
at the
coaching
apocalypse.
Cheetahs under 19, so I get up and go to Hertfordshire and stand there for 3 hours. So
How? How do you have the brain capacity?
I like football. Like football's my rest. Like football is coaching. I can turn my brain off, and that sounds bad. Right, it sounds bad. I promise I'm focused, but I've got to a point. 6 years, 7 years. If I'm coaching a running back, I know what I'm doing. I don't have to think. It's like it comes to me. I know what I'm doing, right? And I think I've started coaching the under-19s, and it's the same joy I get of uni. Of these guys are just, they're so young and they're just clueless and they just want to play football, right? And you just being able to give that to them and help them, for me, is so important. And that's like, I don't, like you say, I don't slow down. I don't stop, because I think I want to do more in football, right? I love football. I want to coach football. I want someone pay me to coach football. That's what I'm saying, right? NFL, where you at? Because I'm out here. Yeah, but essentially,
I think there needs to be more female coaches. I think that is one of many, many reasons why the NWFL is struggling at the moment. We're not keeping enough player retention. We're not doing enough recruitment, but we're also not doing enough to keep our vets in the game.
I think
and
a lot
passionate.
of clubs are in that situation, right, where our coaches tend to be people from the men's team who have been dragged in from someone else on the men's team. And then if one of those people leave, we see a slow progression of them all going out the door, right? So I was in a position, if we had not lost players to, not once again, haven't lost them, they're pregnant, we're very happy for them. If we hadn't had players leave for pregnancies, I was ready to step into a head coach role, because we needed one to have a team, right? I think coaching is a massive problem at women's. And I think even the teams in nines that have it down, a lot of them either have new coaches that are there for a year or coaches who have been there for 10 or so years. And I think a coaching staff has to evolve. You have to have people that stay, right? You have to have people that move positions even, or just have a new outlook for women's. Because I think a lot of coaches bring men's to women's. And the concepts that work in men's don't work in women's, because we train once a week. You've got a player on the O-line who's got a full-time job. She's not learning all these routes. She's learning one route, and I'm happy for her to do it, right? And I owe her my life, full stop, because I'm a running back. Whatever my O-line do, that was the right thing to do. I'll never argue with them. But I think that's it. I think at coaches level, there's not that understanding for how sevens players. You get 2 or 3 a team that are obsessed with football, and the rest are just people living their lives. And I think the coaching isn't there for that. And I think there's not, like you say, I think I know if a player's going to do well if they respect me. I'm like, if you respect the female coach, that means you respect all your coaches. And that is always a little twig in my head of, you're going to be a better player because you listen to what everyone tells you, right? I had one player at uni refuse to be coached by a woman, and that was wild.
How did you manage that? Or I guess you didn't.
So he originally played on defence, and then we lost a few games. He was going to save the offence by coming to play running back. But he said he needed his own running backs coach because he would not be coached by a woman, because women shouldn't play men's sports. Right? This was it. This was direct quotation.
What?
Yep.
How did the team manage that? How did you manage that?
So I personally didn't. I was at the point, once again, I am the best coach that's ever lived, ever, of football. And if he didn't want to be coached by excellence, that's his problem, right? But I think what annoyed me at the time was the committee said, we're not going to get rid of him because it's just like, it's not an incident that's easily flaggable, right? It's not, he hasn't assaulted another member of the team. He hasn't said anything disrespectful. I was like, kind of is disrespectful, but not the point.
Yeah, it is. Like, gender is a protected characteristic.
So my problem wasn't with the player. Like, my problem is with the player, but my problem isn't with him because he has this opinion. I'm like, whatever. I've got more things. I'm writing a dissertation. I've not got this to worry about, right? So, but I think my problem was with the other players who supported him. But then after a while, I had those conversations with those players. I was like, you have to understand why I don't really care about his opinion. I care about your opinion because you respect me. So why are you okay with other people not? And once I had those conversations, I think opinions changed very quickly. But obviously, like I said, these guys are young. They've never had that conversation of, this is how this action has made me feel as a coach. Are you okay with that? And they're like, absolutely not. I'm like, okay, so your actions are meaning this is continuing. And then that conversation for them, hopefully, switches something that they're like, oh, this is why it's different for Maisie as a coach, right? Maisie isn't just Coach Maisie, she's the only female coach we have. So I think it does a lot. The second you see anyone playing with a female coach, how they respect them changes how I see them as a player. And it always will, really.
What would you say has been your hardest lesson to learn as a coach?
Sometimes your favourite players aren't the best players in every situation, right? I coach a few running backs who are like me. They're tiny and they're smart, and I want the world for them. But they're too small, right? But I want to put them on the field as their coach because I see myself in them. I'm like, I'm always going to be undersized. So the second I see an undersized player, I feel that in my heart because I'm like, there is nothing you can do to fix this issue, right? And it's very true. Like, I always say my dream position is O-line. I'd love to play O-line. I love the line. I think it's the best position on the field. But I'll never be able to play O-line. So I don't have the size and I don't have the strength. They're not putting me on the line. Like, call the ambulance before the game even starts. But I feel that with players, right? You can see their love for the game. And it's so hard to not be able to give them what they want out of football. Because I couldn't get that out of football at mixed level. And I understand that pain so hard. I understand doing everything you can mentally. And even in the gym, right? These guys go to the gym. I'm not saying they're weak by any means. But they're undersized and knowing that their ceiling for football is different. And I think that's really hard as a coach is you want players to succeed. And some players, I don't want to say never will succeed because they'll obviously play and that, but they'll never get what they should get if they were taller or if they were bigger. And I think that's horrible as a coach when you have that feeling that I've got so much love for this player and I can't put them on the field.
Yeah. Okay, and final question. What is one little nugget of knowledge or advice that you wish every coach had?
Oh, what a question. Why would you save this one to us? I'm not ready for this one. What should every coach know? That I think if your players are comfortable, you should push them. I think coaches normally are happy when their players are like, if you ask everyone, do you know the playbook? And they go, just nods, and they're not passionate about it. Same with playbook, playing football, whatever it is, right? I think you should always push your players, even if you think they don't want to be pushed, right? Because in our team, we've had this issue where I feel like sometimes our coaching is very good, but it is always very good. It is on this level. And I, as a running back, even though I'm the running backs coach, so I sit in the corner with myself and have a good talking to. I'm like, you need to do that rep better. But I think I want to be pushed. I want to be told what I get wrong. And not every player's like that. But I know there's a lot of players who are. Every rep I want to get told you did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. Let's fix it. So, especially in the sevens game, I think coaches are so worried about how they're seen that they're only positive. Because there's this, I worry, right? And a lot of these coaches, first time coaching sevens, coaching women's, worry that they can't say anything negative because then then I'm putting down women in sport. You can be negative, but a lot of these guys don't know how to be negative as a coach, which is, these are the things we need to fix, not this is what's wrong with you, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's an art to being constructive, and being negative, and I think there are quite a lot of male coaches that just don't know how to do that.
I think a lot of people think they can coach because they play football, and I think they are worlds apart. They are so far apart. Sorry, I've interrupted you in your section. My bad. But it's right? There are people who are ballers And then they come to coach and they're like, yeah, you just do it. Like, yeah, you're 6'5" and you're a receiver. You do just put your hand in the air and do it, right? How do you teach that skill to someone without your physical attributes? And I think sometimes the best coaches are not the best players. Well, I'm pretty sure of that,
Completely
actually.
agree.
That's what 100% in my experience, really. That all the best coaches have never been the best players on the field, right? But they've understood the game.
Completely agree. Right, so have you got any departing messages for your many, many adoring fans?
No, they hear enough from me. That's the problem, right? They're now going to have to sit down and listen to this entire podcast. I might do a listening on the, in the changing room. Oh, my scarf. In the changing room before our game, we're all going to sit down and we're just going to listen to me talk, which is what they normally get, right? But I think we need to... I'd like BAFA to sort their stuff out and fix our league. I'd like to stop having tournaments change last minute so I can actually have my players at the tournament. What else would I like? What else can we fix the world in this 10 seconds of time? I'd like refs. I'd love a ref. I'd love a ref to come to my games.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'd love a sideline ref if I'm being greedy, right? That's what I'd love. But I think sevens needs to be treated with the same respect as nines, and I think nines needs to be treated with the same respect as mixed.
Yes! $1,000,000,000%, yes!
Sevens feels like the unwanted step brother to nines, and that's how it feels to play sevens, right? We are so unwanted, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is such a shame, because I think some of the play you see at sevens is so inventive and so fun, and the new stuff you see at sevens every season, like, it's crazy. Because sevens, you never know what's going to happen. Nines, I'll guess what the final scores are going to be, right? And I'll normally be near right. I'll guess what teams are going to be in the finals. We're normally always right? Sevens, 0 and 8 to 8 and 0. That's what cheaters can do. That's what any team in sevens can do, right? So I think sevens needs more love from BAFA and
$1,000,000,000%.
everyone else, hopefully.
Well, my departing message is it's been an absolute fucking joy, Maisie. You are an absolute gem of a human.
I told you it'd be insane. I did tell you. So when's my next one? Next week. I'll come on again. I'll tell you about the game. Like, legit. Book it in.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll have a reaction.
Me getting floored by the Petersburg D-line on repeat.
Have you made peace with God? That's all
Honestly,
I'm saying.
Prez up, you know what I mean? You know what? People have counted cheaters out. This is my final remark, right? People have counted cheaters out of this game, right? Petersburg have come down to sevens, right? They've come down to our house. Let's see what happens. Sevens is our field, right? You got two less players on the field. I'm not saying what the score's going to be, because that's none of my business. Hey, you guys might win, you guys might lose. But everyone thinks that at least, like, come on, give us some vibes. We were national finalists last year. Give us a chance. That's what I'm saying. We got some bad men. We got some bad men on cheaters. And hopefully this doesn't, blow up in my face. But if it does, I have faith in my team.
You know what? I'll agree. I think the accuracy of your QB on her throws is fucking disgusting. I think your offense is really dynamic. I just know that the Peterborough D-line is they hit hard. And I think there's more to the game than a D-line, but if you can adapt around that, jobs are good. And I think if you're going to adapt, it'll be the cheaters. I think, yeah.
We got a strong defense. We got a defense of, like, weapons, right? So, hell, if we don't score, they might do it for us. And I'm happy with that.
Oh, nice. Well, it's been an absolute joy to get to know you, Maisie, honestly. You're an absolute gem. And it's nice to see the softer parts of you and the more vulnerable parts of you that I guess usually get covered up in banter. So thank you very much. When I'm
celebrating to the recording of the gameplay in the end zone, this doesn't come across, right? But I hope all the teams know I'm actually not an arsehole, and that when I am taunting, it is done with love.
I'm going to get that made on a t-shirt for you.
Done with love, head chef, let's eat, all other catchphrase. I'm just a catchphrase machine, we work for it. Sorry, I keep dragging on. You're trying to end this podcast. I can't stop talking.
No, it's been a joy.
Say it's been a joy again. Come on, I'll stop talking. Let's wrap up.
It's been a joy. I've been Bo Snow. You've been...
I have. I've been Maise Crittenden. I have.
And this has been Lids Off. See ya. Oh,